What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Thursday. Got 6 games here tonight. Some weaker pitching options on this slate, definitely, but we got some really good hitters to choose from on this one. I got it broken down for you, though, with 2 pitchers, 4 batters. They'll hopefully give you some great production here again tonight. We're coming off a really good night last night with the plays. The guys combined for like over 120 DraftKings points or something like that. We had 34 from Zach Gallen. Really good night from him. 27 for Patrick Corbin. Could have been even better if he didn't struggle with his command in the first 2 innings. Ran up his pitch count, but 23 for Paul Goldschmidt. 21 from Nelson Cruz. 12 from Franmil Reyes, and 6 from Sano. He got walked twice, so wasn't able to really reach that upside that we're looking for. But all in all, a really good night, so hopefully we can continue that with this slate. So before we get going, drop a like if you ran out any of those guys, had some good success. Let's try to get over 70 likes on this video, and let's hop right into it, though. Like I said, though, pitching options not really good. Since it's so weak, we got some guys kind of priced up. But I think I'm going to go with the best matchup on this slate, and that's José Berrios here at 10,600. He's really been struggling recently, but this matchup seems like a perfect opportunity for him to kind of get himself right against a team that he has had good success against in the past. He has a 25% K rate and 152 plate appearances against this team. They're only implied 3.9 runs, so not too bad. One of the lower run totals of the slate. There's going to be 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from right field. That can help him out against some of these lefties in the lineup. And like I said, I feel like he's just due for one of those big-time games. He always has the stuff, but he can sometimes beat himself with the walks over the last few games. And like I mentioned yesterday with Zach Gallen, who was against this same team, they're I think they're the second fewest walks by Major League Baseball teams, so they don't walk very often. Like we saw in the last start against the White Sox, he had 0 walks, just allowed 9 hits. So if you can keep the hits under wraps, go a little bit deeper in this game, maybe get a few more strikeouts. I think he has better strikeout ability than what he's been showing over the last few games. Then he can have a really good start. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to go with Jose Suarez here. Suarez at 8,200. This is another guy that's been very kind of weird with his kind of game logs. He's had good strikeout ability, just allowing a good amount of home runs, which is never great. But against his Baltimore lineup, hopefully he can keep them under wraps and a park downgrade for them, and a team that strikes out a good amount. So, like, there's not many strikeout upside guys on the slate. I always like to target that for my pitchers, as it kind of can limit the downside and also give you that good upside if they are able to limit the hits and the home runs in their kind of starts. And Suarez is a guy that has been kind of touted as a good prospect for this Angels team. So he definitely has the ability. It's just whether he can put a start together. And against an Orioles team, like I said, they strike out a good amount. 25.5% of the time they strike out against lefties. He has a 25% K rate himself this year and a 12.9 swinging strike rate. So he is generating some good kind of misses on his pitches. So it's some good movement there. It's just whether or not he can limit the home runs, and hopefully he can in the start. The Orioles do have a few, like 1 or 2 guys you have to worry about for the home run power against lefties. But if he can just work himself around those guys and just keep racking up the strikeouts and limit the rest of these guys, I think he can have a solid start. Not crazy upside, as we've seen him kind of be sporadic, but I think he can give us around 20 DraftKings points, hopefully, in this start. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. I think he has a great shot of getting a ton of run support, too, in that game. For my first guy, I'm going to go with OHTANI here at 4,900. Against a right-handed pitcher, he's always much better, and this is against a pitcher who is allowing a ton of stolen bases and a ton of home runs to lefties. So in 33 innings so far for Yacobonis, I believe his name is, he's given up 5 stolen bases. So he's been easily stolen this year. He's allowing 3.18 home runs per 9 to lefties. A small sample, but still that's a very big number to be allowing. His numbers are very bad if you look at his FIP, his xFIP, allowing a good amount of hard contact. So OHTANI here, way too good of a pitcher to be fooled by this guy. I think he can have a really big night with that stolen base ability as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to pair him up with Justin Upton. A little bit of a mini stack there for those two at 4,000 here. Has been hitting against right-handed batters much better. Really struggling against lefties this year. The Angels are implied 6.1 runs, so Vegas absolutely loves them. So a pretty cheap stack for Ohtani and Upton. Two guys I think have really good upside in this matchup against a bad pitcher. He's a 215 ISO and a 47% hard contact rate against righties on the season so far. So definitely some good ability and some good power upside in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. I'm going to go with the Vogelbach here. Been just absolutely hitting missiles after missiles the last few nights. Had 2 home runs against Texas. Had 2 home runs against the Angels the other night. So really good upside any given night. This is a really good matchup going against Verhagen, who's not a good pitcher. He's typically a bullpen guy. And those bullpen guys that do kind of get the start, I feel like they always kind of struggle. It's kind of too big of an adjustment. It can take a little bit of time to get acclimated to that new role. And I think he might not even have a start this year. He had like 1 maybe last year or something like that. In his game log, it's only been like 1 or 2 starts per year. So he's definitely not a guy that's been acclimated to a starting role. So I think he can really struggle here against this Mariners lineup, specifically Vogelbach, guy that hits for great power, 311 ISO versus righties. And this Tigers bullpen is not great as well. So if Verhagen really struggles and they go to another guy, I think it's going to be easy pickings for Vogelbach in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. For my final guy, Chris Davis, we got to go with someone with value. Not many value guys, but Chris Davis is one that always has that upside. I've been kind of hoping for his breakout recently. It hasn't really came with the home runs, like 227, 16 home runs. It's definitely not Chris Davis-like numbers after hitting so many home runs over the last few years. But this is a spot where it could match up well. I mean, Jurado is a guy with the reverse split so far this year, is allowing 1.8 home runs per 9 to righties. And Oakland, another team implied with a good run total of 5.2 runs. So Chris Davis, even though he's in that 6th spot, the RBI upside is there, as there could be guys on base against Jurado very easily. And I think they can definitely generate some run-producing spots for him. That's kind of been the one positive for him in the 6th spot. In some of these games, he's had 2 RBIs twice. So even like 9 or 10 DraftKings points at 3,500 isn't bad at all. And if he can just connect with one and even go hit a home run on one of those instead of like an RBI single or an RBI double, then he can just get it done with really good upside and just one swing of the bat. So a good matchup with those reverse splits. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my 4th hitter and final guy. So you got Berrios, Suarez, Vogelbach, Ohtani, Upton, and Chris Davis. Hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like in the video before you head out if you did. Really appreciate that. 70 plus likes. Let's see if we can hit it. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more MLB DFS picks. I've uploaded 2 fantasy football draft prep videos. If you want to check it out, I got 2 kind of undervalued guys currently, I think, at fantasy running back position so far in the draft. Guys I think really could pop off this year. And then 1 receiver. I just made a video just for him because I love him that much. I think he's a steal of the draft so far. So go check out those videos if you haven't already. But good luck here tonight. Hope you guys win a ton of money. We'll see you back here again next time.